Thank you for joining us. I'm Naiva Reynoso. Ahead, get up close to one of the fire department's big rigs, plus a behind-the-scenes look at the Natural History Museum. But first, the Department of Health Services is saving the lives of people living with substance use disorder. A harm reduction team that includes staff with lived experience conducts street outreach to provide services with a full heart and helping hand. Here's more.
My name is Estefania Valladolid, and I was saved by harm reduction. I grew up in a very violent home that was full of alcoholism. Seeing so much violence at home growing up left me in the trenches. I was using drugs and I was using alcohol. I was in and out of friends' homes and living in a car at that moment. Life in the streets while using drugs was very lonely, very dark, very unpredictable. It was very scary, not knowing what the night is gonna look like. I got exposed to the harm reduction program, and honestly, that's where everything just changed for me. I was transformed. I went through the harm reduction program, the 8-week program, and I graduated, and shortly after, I was hired by BNSF. Get ready to head to outreach today and just gonna chat.
So the county, in an effort to reduce overdose deaths and to better engage folks who use drugs that are in our communities, has expanded its efforts to reach those community members by partnering with organizations that have been doing harm reduction work in the community for decades. Some of them, like Bienestar, have hired people who have gone through a program, our workforce development program. This program was set up to make sure that people with lived experience had access to training and a certification that was recognized so they can move into these jobs, because we know people with lived experience do the work right.
Fentanyl testing strips, we'll give you about 10 since you distribute them. Any xylazine testing strips? Yes. Our day-to-day mission is to service the community, and we load up the van every single day with the supplies that are needed. And we outreach through different areas in our city. We distribute Narcan and fentanyl testing strips. We distribute xylazine strips, hygiene kits, wound care. And our goal is to just build relationship with them so that we can keep them coming. Hey, Christine, how are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
People like Stefania, she makes us feel like everything's gonna be okay. She comes down once a week or whatever, and helps us out, and she's kind of a lifesaver. A lot of people don't know, don't know the journey and the struggles that we go through like she does. So yeah, when she's here, it makes a huge difference. When we look at her and seeing that she's recovered from it, it gives us that little bit of light of hope, I guess, seeing that somebody, people like us really can recover and move on with our lives.
So Christine is an amazing person who I've worked with in the encampment for the past 2 years. And she is like the little mayor of the encampment here. The way I build the trust with her is obviously telling her my own story, kind of identifying each other and one another, having that common ground together. She shares her story with me and I shared my story with her, and we realized we have so much more in common. You want Narcan, fentanyl testing strips?
Yeah.
Stefania's lived experience plays a role in her success in this work because she is able to put herself in people's shoes, and she knows what they're going through. She knows the habits that they have because she has gone through it herself.
Harm reduction and overdose prevention work saves lives. And this work is impactful, it's critically impactful and needed right at this moment, and it cannot be done without people with lived experience connecting with our community members.
I would have really appreciated someone guiding me and someone being there when I felt really alone. I would have had someone like myself out there where I could, on a weekly basis, go to and confide in, like the participants do with me, it would have made it so much easier for me to forgive myself. It would have helped to be seen back when I wasn't seen. I see myself in them, and I'm able to be there for that person. It heals that part of me that was so alone.
The American Rescue Plan represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to address LA County's most urgent inequities. Meet the hardworking people at the food pantry at the Los Angeles LGBT Center.
My success story was made possible by LA
洛
County
杉
and
矶
the
县
American
和
Rescue
美国救援计划成就了我的
Ilagano Junetarte Los Angeles Shirchani.
Mi historia de éxito fue posible gracias al
Possible
condado
by
de
LA
Los Ángeles.
County and the American Rescue Plan.
The LGBT Center started in 1969 as a place for queer folk, lesbian, gay, bi, trans people to come together, to build community, to do mutual aid for each other. It's become just a huge part of our community in Hollywood, community in WeHo, and worldwide, actually. The LA LGBT Center is the largest LGBT center in the world. And especially working in senior services, getting to serve the people who fought for the rights that we now enjoy is just really humbling and amazing. COVID-19 caused a pretty serious change in how we gave services, but our doors stayed open. We found ways to work remotely. We found ways to help people in just very different ways. We delivered food to people's doors, which is one large thing that we were able to provide with help. And with our senior pride pantry, there were also pickups for produce and items that way. And especially for our housing buildings, we delivered meals to our seniors' doors. We applied for the LA County Food Equity Grant because, especially after COVID, funding and grants for food have just been slowly decreasing, and the need for healthy options, especially for our seniors, has only increased. On their fixed incomes, are not able to afford food as it rises in grocery stores. The amount of seniors unhoused is just increasing, and we are able to provide things that are easy for unhoused clients to eat as well as our housed clients. Just the amount of items that we're able to order has increased. The quality of the items, for the clients, people have been asking for those little cup cereals for months and months and months, and that's something that we're able to offer now. And we're also able to consistently just keep these shelves stocked. So with the increase of clients walking into the room, we're able to just meet that, which has been just a game changer for us. On behalf of the LA LGBT Center and Senior Services and the Senior Center, we just want to thank LA County for creating this grant. It's really opened a lot of doors for us and our seniors especially. Our success story was made possible by LA County and the American Rescue Plan.
Los Angeles County's Pathway Home program brought 68 people experiencing homelessness off the streets and into safe interim housing, where they will receive the support and services they need to move forward.
Today is the Florence Firestone Pathway Home operation. We're here in unincorporated Florence Firestone and Supervisory District 2. Today's goal is to focus on 2 of 4 zones where we have roughly 70 people who are experiencing unsheltered homelessness, a lot of whom are in RVs like the one you see behind me. Make sure they understand that our offer is to help bring them safely inside and connect them to permanent housing, and give them the ability, if they're willing to come inside, to also surrender some property that they no longer need, because we're gonna take care of them.
Oh yeah, baby, we get our.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Praise the Lord.
Oh, we made it. We made it through all of it.
This is our home street right here. No matter what, we get in and be fussing and screaming out here, but that's because we have breakdowns. You know, all of us going through something. No matter where you come from, you can't never forget where you came from. I ain't gonna forget where I come from. This is my place. This is where I came from.
Our sleeping status is terrible. You know, our backs hurt and it's hard to get out of bed, and it's like the food, the sanitary, we couldn't use the restroom. It was just terrible, terrible. And I'm just so happy because I've seen this. I've waited for this day forever, so forever. And I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was coming because I followed you guys. I followed you guys and I read about it and I'm like, be patient.
We're talking about human beings, and this is a humanitarian mission. No one gets better on the street. From day one, they degrade. So not only are we helping the individuals who are living in these conditions, we're also helping the community that's been affected by the encampment itself.
Hey.
Okay, this one works.
Oh my goodness. It has a bathtub.
When you see the smiles on their faces, when you see the way people feel when they
This is our new home. And
go into their room and take a nap and take a shower and change their clothes, and they talk about what it feels like to not have to survive out here. That's the success for me. Every one person that gets to have that kind of moment today is a success.
Now that I'm here, I'm looking forward to taking it, clean this over one day at a time. I'm grateful for being away from over there. And I needed change, and I needed freshness and betterness to improve myself.
Let's join David Summers as he visits the LA County Museum of Natural History to learn how precious gems and minerals found right here in our own backyard can help unlock solutions to our most pressing issues like climate change, pollution, and disease.
And is this a meteorite just sitting right here?
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun, there's just a meteorite.
So that's an iron meteorite. That was the core of an old planet that got obliterated in the early parts of the solar system. You see those little round white nodules in there. Mm-hmm. Those were the first things to form in our solar system.
This is older than the solar system itself.
That's right. This is a piece of the moon, right here. It's a lunar meteorite, so when the moon gets hit by a rock.
The debris coming off, okay.
This is one of the first things I bought when I came to the museum. I was like, I'm not gonna stay here unless I get a piece of the moon. So we have one, and I'm good now.
Los Angeles County is a big place. 88 cities, thousands of neighborhoods, with nearly 10 million people sprawled across 4,000 square miles. So just how does LA County serve such a vast and diverse region? It's science, from anthropology to zoology and everything in between. The science of protecting county residents, preserving the past, and preparing for the future. I'm David Summers, and today we're diving into the science behind LA County services. Welcome to LA Countyology.
The Natural History Museum is home to 35 million specimens, and one of the great collections is this, the Gem and Mineral Hall, which is home to over 150,000 specimens, an exhaustive collection. And we're gonna go inside today, but we're actually going to take you into the science behind the Gem and Mineral Hall, into the labs where county scientists are working every day on how minerals are impacting our everyday life. And with us is Dr. Aaron Celestian, who is the curator for this exhibit, but he's also a mineralogist. You're actually bringing these minerals into the real world. What is that work, and what are you involved in?
That's a great question. So that's why we have this laboratory on public display, so people can see the kind of work we're doing with minerals. We are working on using minerals for lithium sequestration. We're tackling diseases like kidney disease and kidney stone formation. So a lot of that stuff is happening right here, right in front of everybody that comes into the museum, so they can see how modern mineralogy is done.
I know that you're partnering with the Jet Propulsion Lab with NASA. What's that project involved, and how are you taking the science beyond the museum and into the community and to JPL?
So one of the things that we're working on with JPL is that we're trying to understand how bacteria can live inside of crystals. So when a lake or an ocean evaporates, there's crystals form at the bottom of that when it gets completely dry. Anything that was in the water also gets trapped inside the crystals, and that includes any kind of microscopic living organisms. So if we're going to find life on another planet or moon, and we don't see animals just running around on the surface, we're going to look for that sort of microscopic organism inside of crystals that have been trapped in there for eons. Really what the big deal about mineralogy is that we're looking at small scale processes to help understand the much larger scale geological world.
What are some of the practical applications of your work?
So there's a couple things that we're working on. One is that we need fresh water to drink in Los Angeles. We're in a constant drought, it seems like. There's always this water shortage. So if we can do desalination on a scale that can help LA County residents, that would be great. But desalination is extremely expensive, and it's prone to a lot of mechanical failure. So what we're working on here is that as water is coming in from the ocean, we are stripping that water of metals like lithium and silver and copper, all the stuff that makes desalination difficult. So another thing that we're working on is kidney stone problems. So if you have kidney stones developing, those are just minerals, and understanding how kidney stones grow is the same thing as understanding how minerals grow in the environment. So we're taking mineralogical processes and applying that to what's happening inside of our body. Like all these little round dots is on the surface of a kidney stone. And those little round dots are each little bacteria. But not only that, they build like these structures and these strands, and we think that that is helping assemble these crystals. And if that continues over and over again, you end up building a giant stone in your kidney and you can't pass it anymore. With the SEM, with the scanning electron microscope, we're able to image this and get a better understanding of like how this really happens, so that we can then develop pharmaceuticals or other treatments to cure kidney stone disease.
I'm noticing some stats on the wall behind you.
Oh yeah, our famous wall of how many new minerals that were discovered. There's only 6,000 plus-ish mineral species ever even known right now, and we have discovered over 335 in the last 15 years.
So about 5% of the total known number of minerals have been discovered just by the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles.
That's right.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
You're describing things that have huge commercial application with potential untold wealth behind that. Why are you here? Why are you not off making a fortune bringing these discoveries to market?
So before coming here, I was a geology professor, and I started up a few of my own companies for oil cleanup and remediation in Kentucky. But I wasn't really happy with that. I wanted to rapidly develop environmental solutions, medical solutions, pharmaceutical solutions to help people immediately. And I saw myself being able to do that very easily here at the Natural History Museum, because I have just this enormous library of minerals that I can draw from and be able to advance the studies, advance the science as fast as I possibly can.
Do you ever notice people tend to congregate around certain stones or minerals or samples?
Yeah, the ones that look like food, people tend to congregate around. Ones that look delicious, like a Jolly Rancher. So some of these red barrels and that emerald, they just look delicious.
Don't eat them though, kids.
Don't eat them. Yeah.
Each and every day, scientists, curators, volunteers, and staff at the Gem and Mineral Lab and across the Natural History Museum are using mineralogy to help us better understand our world, from climate change to exploring the solar system and beyond. Until next time, as we continue to dig in and discover, we'll see you on LA Countyology.
On this edition of Meet the Fleet, meet LA County's Fires Heavy Rescue, the ultimate mix of brute strength, high technology, and surgical precision. When called upon, this truck can lift a flipped big rig or pull a car out from under a collapsed building. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Meet the Fleet. It's the show that brings you inside the cabin and under the hood of some of the biggest and baddest vehicles in the Los Angeles County fleet. I'm your host, Ryan Zumalin, and today we're here in Vernon at Fire Station 13 to learn about a truck designed not to fight fires, but to save lives. So come with me and let's check it out.
This is LA County Fire's Heavy Rescue. It's a Kenworth T880, a truck famous for its strength and stability, as well as its ability to transform into a huge number of uses for hard, demanding work. It's got 4 axles, a 565 horsepower diesel engine, and weighs about 75,000 pounds or 37.5 tons. That's a lot of brute strength. But there's also precision involved.
I'm here now with Captain Quentin Humphrey from Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 103. Captain, what can you tell me about the task force?
Task Force 103 is part of the Los Angeles County Fire Department's technical rescue program. Swiftwater rescue, advanced rope rescue, confined space, trench, anything that's a more technical in a manner that requires more training and more expertise to be able to facilitate a rescue.
Well, what does having heavy rescue add to the mission?
Adds us the capability of lifting and pulling. So in any kind of a situation where someone has unfortunately either been in an auto accident and they're underneath something heavy, Heavy Rescue 103 was designed specifically to be able to access patients. So we can give our partners that are on the truck companies, the engine companies, an extra tool in the toolbox to be able to lift something heavy in a very controlled, precise manner to now access our patient and facilitate that rescue.
Perched on top is a sliding rotator with a 65-ton capacity, and those are synthetic ropes for extra strength, leading to 4 winches at the end. You can even operate it remotely and see real-time calculations for the angle and attached weight at any given moment. There's also heavy-duty storage compartments that hold winches, ropes, and even advanced tech like live cameras and boom measurements in real time. Whether it's lifting a flipped semi-truck off a freeway or pulling a car out of a collapsed building, in a sticky situation, this is the king of rescue machines.
You mentioned a scenario where you might have to lift a heavy vehicle or even parts of a building off of someone who's trapped. That's a typical scenario?
Correct. So your typical scenario is, an auto accident on the freeway with a large vehicle, a tractor trailer, a concrete truck, and a vehicle ends up underneath of it. You need to very precisely, almost like a surgeon with a scalpel, take apart those things, and we can start cutting on the cars to get them out, but if they have a load on top of them, the load's trying to crush them. So the only way to do that is to stop the crush, is to lift the load or stabilize the load, and this tool is the most effective tool we have in our toolbox in order to do that. So now we can safely get the patient out and get that patient to the hospital for their care they need.
There's a lot that goes into driving this unit. It takes years of training to learn to operate it, and only 7 people in the LA County Fire Department are currently qualified. That training is necessary because the driver is almost always operating heavy rescue alone. When they're deployed to an emergency, they have to be the driver, navigator, boom operator, and search and rescue specialist. It was a rare treat to ride shotgun. Surprisingly, the rig is pretty quiet, comfortable, and easy to maneuver. But boy, is it big. They can even lock both of the rear axles, like the world's biggest Jeep, in case the heavy rescue encounters sticky or slippery conditions.
This rig is fun to drive, lights and sirens. It's quiet inside, drives like a pickup. It's an automatic, but it's very heavy. And sometimes you forget how big and heavy this is when you're driving it, because I like to tell the guys this thing drives like a pickup truck.
Does it feel like 75,000 pounds?
It does not feel like 75,000 pounds. But again, so quiet and so smooth when this thing moves. This is the best riding rig we have in our department, as far as like the way, the bounce and the way it rides and drives, the vision out of the mirrors. Like this rig, everyone who drives it is like, wow. But that also coincides with when they get out of the cab, we'll get the remote control out and we'll go through the operations of this. They're responsible for as much complex stuff out there as they are in here. So this becomes second nature for that operator. So we have to really do a lot of homework, a lot of pre-planning on these emergency incidents just to get this thing accessed.
Yeah.
It is a unique tool that's available to the people in the County of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for the ride, Captain.
Cool.
This rescuer gives the Urban Search and Rescue Task Force the firepower they need to get into any situation, handle it, and get people out of there safely. It's the ultimate mix of brute force, high technology, and surgical precision. That's all for today on Meet the Fleet. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to our friends at Los Angeles County Fire for showing us around this incredible machine. Join us next time for another fun adventure.
Volunteers at LA General Medical Center distribute handmade quilts to patients each year to bring a touch of home to those away from family and battling illness and injury.
We're here at Los Angeles General Medical Center celebrating the holidays with a very special event. Our spiritual care services, along with St. Camillus and community members, have made over 1,800 quilts and blankets to give to our patients.
Everyone gets a homemade blanket, and most of these people don't have family support, so the blankets really mean a lot to them, and it shows that someone is thinking about them.
I'm more than excited now because it's absolutely beautiful, and it's obviously hand knitted, just like my mom used to do.
This is a very special event in that it really represents the caring spirit of Los Angeles General Medical Center, and to provide this a little bit of joy to our patients who are here receiving great care.
From our hearts, from all of us, we are most grateful that you are giving your time today, and we are grateful for these wonderful folks that made this happen.
On behalf of Los Angeles General Medical Center, we want to wish you and all your loved ones a very, very happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and God bless us. God bless us all.
Happy holidays!
Thanks for joining us. We leave you now with scenes from the holiday parade in Whittier. We'll see you next time on LA County Close Up.